Welcome back to WKRG News 5 at noon. Today we're happy to welcome nurse practitioner Skylar Martin, who oversees the genetics program at the Southern Cancer Center. Skylar, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We're talking about those at high risk of getting breast cancer. So let's start with, what does it mean if you're at high risk for breast cancer?
Those who are at high risk for breast cancer are people who are identified as having a greater than 20% lifetime risk for developing breast cancer.
Okay, so how do we determine who is at high risk?
So that's a good question. There are different models in place that take into account the patient's personal history, family history, and different factors that would increase their risk.
And so how might someone go about finding out if they are high risk? Do they need to enroll in a high risk breast cancer program?
Yeah, so what we see is people get referrals to our clinic from their primary care OBGYN, and they come see us, and then we discuss their risk factors to determine if they would qualify for the program.
And so do you automatically start out with things like genetic testing?
It depends. Based on the person's family history, we could discuss genetic testing, or we could discuss increased screenings.
Yeah, so a lot of times people worry, well, my mother had it, my grandmother had it, I don't know how often I should be screened. And I am hearing more and more about OBGYNs actually referring more patients to a high-risk clinic like you have, because then that's what you do all day long.
Right, and what we do is help guide the patient through that journey, be it increased screening with mammogram or MRI or possible prophylactic treatments.
And as far as insurance coverage, it seems like insurance has finally caught up and is now covering these visits, because it seems like years ago, well, we don't want to cover the genetics, or we don't want to cover this. Now it seems like insurance companies are paying for these services.
Absolutely, and we work with the patients through that process too, to make sure that they don't have any bills or any unexpected costs come from that.
So if someone's watching right now and they feel that they may be at high risk for breast cancer because of their family history, what does their next step need to be?
They can reach out to their primary care or their OBGYN, or we welcome them to contact the office directly and tell us that they're interested.
Okay, well, we're going to be talking more about the high risk for breast cancer, what patients need to do, on WKRG.com and WKRG's Facebook page. We're going to have a longer conversation with Skylar Martin with the Southern Cancer Center, so we hope that you will tune in later today for that. Thank you, Skylar.
Thank you.